everyone, I thought it was time I had a go in my World of Flowers book. So this is obviously by Johanna Basford, and I thought I would have a go at this little bug here. I've done this bug on this side in a previous video quite a while ago, and one of the other ones as well that was on a postcard. So I thought I would have a go at this one because I haven't done it before on video, and I've got my Arteza Expert Pencils to use today. So let's get going. What I am going to start with is probably the leaves. So I'm just picking my colours. I'm going to start, I think, with the forest green, and I'm going to fade that into, just grabbing my pencil sharpener, sorry, into the, what's that one called? Pear Green. So it's really faded on that one, and it's half sharpened away. So this is the forest green where we're going to start, and I'm going to take every leaf and I'm going to put a little bit of this darker colour on it, oops, and then fade it a bit like that. So put a few layers here, you see I'm layering that up, and then reduce my pressure as I go up, do you see? And we'll do that with every leaf. So I'm just having a look. These are sort of like little stick bits, but I want, or stalks or whatever, but I think I want them to be these. I hope it's bright enough, by the way. It's really dark morning. I've put my main light on, which creates quite a few shadows, but my lamp is on as well. So I hope you can sort of see. There's a lot of shadow under my hand, but I'm hoping it's going to be okay. So we'll do this leaf. Now the eyes here, I'm not sure what to do with. I think I'm just going to leave them for a minute and have a little think about that. So hopefully you can just see what I'm doing. I'm just putting in some darker areas of green. I'm looking at there, I'm not sure about what I'm going to do here. Let's do an outline, just for something a little bit different. I used to do this when I first got Johanna's books. I'd always do her outline bits of leaves in a darker colour. And then I started wanting the leaves to look a little bit more realistic, so I stopped doing it. But let's have a go at that for this bit. We've got a leaf here, look. And here. So I'm just trying to work out what else is going on here. I think I'm going to do more outliney bits. And then see, if you don't like how this turns out, you can always do it slightly differently. See what you feel. And I'm going to just do that bit too. And we'll see how it comes out. Now moving down. Oh yeah, do this bit. So I hope you're all well. It's Wednesday, isn't it, today, I think. If you're watching this on day of release, which of course you may not be. Middle of the week. I think in the UK they call it hump day, because it's not the beginning of the week when you're full of energy. It's not near the end of the week when you know, we're heading towards the weekend. But there's been a lot of criticism about calling it that and making it feel like a negative day. But for me, I don't. I enjoy the weekends, having the family home. Obviously, that's lovely. But I don't sort of dread a particular weekday or anything like that. It doesn't make a big difference to me. My days are different because I'm freelance. Sometimes I have work, sometimes I don't. So, you know, it could be that I've got a Wednesday off. It could be that I'm working really hard. So it doesn't really make any difference. But anyway, today I'm waiting for some work to come in. So while I'm waiting, I'm having some fun, making some videos with you. I feel now like I'm sort of having a conversation with you, even though you're not going to hear this conversation right away. I know people like doing live so they can actually have a response, but it's not something I'm yet technologically kitted out to do, really. I've been trying to do a few different things. I've tried a few Instagram reels. It's not live, I know it's a bit different, but I'm still not massively confident in what I'm doing. So I stick to what I know most of the time. I'm just sharpening my next pencil. As I say, this is the Pear Green. He's a bit short, so the name's all rubbed off. You can only just see the number. I know which one it is because it's my favourite. So basically I'm going to go over the top of this dark forest green and just take that colour up. And I really like this shade of green. It's just one of my favourites, but it doesn't go with all other colours. I find that it goes best with oranges and yellows. Because it's got a lot of yellow in it, it doesn't really go well with purple and pink, I don't think. You may disagree, you don't have to agree. We all have different likes and dislikes. So for this, when I'm doing these flowers in a minute, they aren't going to be pink or purple, which is, I've got quite into my pink flowers lately, pink and purple, but I'm going to do these orange, just to be a bit different. I think it's fun to show you something different anyway, and fun for me to do something different too, such as colouring in this book, which I can't remember when I last did a bit in here, so it's quite fun. Now I was just going to try doing this that's a bit darker here and lighter here, but I'm not going to use a different pencil. I'm just going to use this one and see how it works out, see if I like it. I'm just going to do all of it and then sort of sit back and have a look, but actually might be better to wait until I've actually finished the whole thing. It's not always easy to tell when you're just looking at a small part of it. So you can always go back, you know, don't be afraid to sort of think, well, I'll leave that for now, and I'm just taking my dark green to fill in those scruffy bits. There's no harm in thinking, I'll come back later. I'm a bit naughty. Once I've moved on from the bit, I tend not to go back. These eyes I'm going to do in this lighter colour. Those bits I'm just doing in a hard layer because it's too small. These Arteza pencils, you can sharpen them to a point. They don't hold their point for long because they're soft. It's you know, you've got to decide what you want with your pencils. If you want a soft one that that blends really nicely, and then they're not going to hold their point for long because the whole point is they're soft. But if you want something that holds its point, it's going to be harder. It's going to be a little more difficult to blend. So I've got a mix of them now. So these Artezas are more soft and blendable, and my polychroma is obviously harder. And they're not the hardest pencil, there are harder ones. But I think it's good to try different ones and see what suits you. I tend to use the same technique with all of them. It's quite tempting to just press really hard and get a big vibrant bit, but it's usually better to just layer them up a little bit, particularly to start with, so that you can mix your colours up a little bit and also not dent the paper. A lot of layers will do that, but if you press one layer really hard, you can dent it without even getting a lot of colour down, and you squash the tooth of the paper so it can't absorb any more layers of colour. So if you finish it and then have a look and think, oh, I could do with a bit more there, you can't get any more layers down. So just worth thinking about. I'm sure a lot of you know this anyway, but just in case. So we're coming to the end of the leaves. There's a few little bits here. I'm just going to do them. And I'm going to sit back and have a little look. And I'm just going to touch up a few areas. It's not always easy when I'm chattering away and colouring. I sometimes miss bits. Yeah, I'm going to make that do. I'm going to get some orange here. Now we've got the whole body of the beetle. I've accidentally coloured some of it in green here, but I'm just going to try and erase that with my my fine eraser. I just check it's got a bit of a red bit on it. I'm just going to rub that off. So if you look at this, if you see the end of it, it's got some red on it. I don't know how well the camera's picking that up. There. Whoops. So I'm going to erase that off on a scrap bit of paper because I don't want that red smudging onto my beetle, and then I'm just going to erase that bit of green in there. I don't find the Artezas erase brilliantly well. Coloured pencils aren't good at erasing. It's better not to make a mistake, but hey, we all do it. What I'm going to do before I do the flowers is do the sort of body. What I thought was I would do this body in a sort of more pastel-y orange and then do the flowers in a bright orange, and I think that might work. We'll see. So what have we got? I'm just looking at what I've got here. I think I'm going to use the peaches and cream. I don't know how well you can see that. It's just quite good, isn't it? And it needs a sharpen. And what I'm going to do is do a light layer over the main part of the body. And we've got this sort of border bit around here. I'm just going to ignore that to start with. I'm just going to do a light layer. So I'm really just kissing the paper gently with the pencil to just add a little touch of colour, because I might want to add a little bit of shading on here, and I don't want it to be too dark because these are going to be dark dark orange and I need them to stand out. So even though I might want to do a little bit of shaping or shading, I don't want it to be too dark. So just, as I say, a little layer and then have a think. With a little layer it's easier to erase, you can always add more, it's quite useful. And I'm thinking this beetle's body is going to be rounded, it's going to be higher here than it is on these edges. So what I'm going to do with my light colour is just add a few more layers on the edge and then fade it towards the centre. And I'm going to do that all the way around the body. Now you can see it's adding a little bit more colour, but it's not going really dark, and that's my hope. I'm just adding a few more layers. Now, I've not used these pencils, I don't think, in this book, and I'm quite pleased with how they're laying down. I'm not an expert at using these. I haven't used them loads. Obviously, some pencils I've had for a lot longer than others and used them a lot more. But for me, they feel nice on here. I quite like the paper in this book. I find the Johanna's latest couple of books, Worlds of Wonder and 30 Days, the paper seems a little more, I think slick is the word some people have used. The pencils smudge a little bit. And in this book they don't seem to, which is good. I am just going to go a few more layers on that edge. It's just adding warmth really, which I'm rather liking. I don't know how well it's being picked up really by the camera. I think I haven't put any at all in here, so I'm just going to put a light layer through there like that. Yeah, I'm going to leave it like that for now. I may decide to put a little bit more in, but we'll see how we go. And now I want a more defined orange. I'm going to use the, what's this one? That's, yeah, I'm going to use the orange. Now it's quite a dark shade, orange. I'm going to use that first. Okay, so we've basically got 3 different types of flowers, but I'm going to probably do them in the same way. So these little bells at the very top, I'm just going to put quite a hard layer at the top and just try and fade it down a little bit towards the bottom. So basically more layers, about 6 layers here, about 4 layers here, and then 2 or 3 down there, and hopefully that just fades down. It's a little bit messy. I'll just grab my brush. There we go. Now these 3, you'll be able to see these better, a little bit bigger. I don't really want to zoom in even closer because I'll forget that I'm zoomed in, and you won't see what I'm doing. So lots of layers. You can see I'm just doing little circles going over and over, and then doing less as we go down, and just a few at the bottom. You can always go back like I'm going to and add a few more at the top afterwards. Gosh, I have got a tripod so close to my face it's nearly touching my mouth. It's quite a funny setup, but I'll have to put a photo on my Facebook page or something for you to see. Oh, it's quite odd. It suits me, it's fine. Now we have got a series of 3 sets of petals. So we've got a large petal here, and then this is one that's further back here and one that's further back here. So what I'm going to do is do this back one first and then fade it down to the tip. So it's really similar to the others, but I'm going to do a slightly different thing. I faded it a bit more, I think. That was my intention anyway. I am going to go in with the front one with a different colour, just so it's a bit lighter. So just sharpening away. So this is the Tuscan Sun, which is a very orangey yellow. I'm hoping it's going to still look quite orangey, but if it doesn't, I will go over the top with a little bit of orange. It's quite yellowy, isn't it? But we'll just do a layer down. I'm pressing quite lightly. Go, and I think we need a bit more. Maybe we'll go with the pumpkin orange. I think that's a little bit lighter than the orange. We'll try the pumpkin orange on top because that is a bit light, but the light base will help this stay lighter, so it will still look light. It's got a lot of debris coming off this one. That's okay. Some pencils do that. My pastel tone pencils do that a lot, but they're very soft and it's really nice. If you want a soft background, they're really good. They're the brand is Kores, Kores, and I was sent them as a gift, as an alternative, as a budget alternative to the Castle pastel set, which are still a budget pencil, but these were even cheaper, and I'm really enjoying them. The only thing I miss from them is aren't any browns, and sometimes I quite like a pastel brown. Okay, let's see. The only thing we now haven't done is this layer around here, and I am going to do it in this pumpkin orange that I've got in my hand, but really lightly, because I did always want it to be a little bit darker than the main body. But I'm going to do it. You can see I'm really pressing quite lightly. I really like just pressing lightly on the page sometimes. It can feel really therapeutic, just really gentle. So, and because you have to force yourself to go slowly, makes it more relaxing. Just want it to be a little bit darker at the bottom there. Hopefully you can see that. There we go. No, I just moved my lamp to try and make it lighter, but it's not going to work. But anyway, there we go. He is finished. I'm really happy actually with that colour combo and with the way the Artezas have laid down. So I hope you've enjoyed that one as well, and it might have given you a few ideas. So thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely, lovely day and happy colouring.